Hello, welcome to my channel BillyNou. Today I'm going to show you how to mordant with tannin and alum using oak gall powder. I've been intrigued by mordanting with tannin for a while but have never specifically used it just for mordanting purposes. This is how to mordant on my channel BillyNou. Hi guys, so today I'm going to take you through mordanting with tannins, specifically oak gall powder. We've had a lot of requests for mordanting videos. There's quite a lot to mordanting, so I thought we'd just do a couple of videos on that, but today we're going to start with tannins. So I'm going to be using oak gall powder today, and if anyone doesn't know what an oak gall is, these are some oak galls that I found on an oak tree the other day when we went for a walk. They're really high in tannin, and they're kind of produced by the oak trees in response to, I think, wasps laying eggs in their bark or skin. It's kind of a natural pesticide, I think. And they're also used in wine making. They kind of have an astringent taste. It kind of gives the wine that like kind of dry taste apparently. So yeah, they're quite cool little things. I'm not actually going to be using these specific oak galls today because I'm going to use them for another video that I want to do. So yeah, I'm not going to be using the actual oak galls today, but I am going to be using this oak gall powder. This is from the Mazi Natural Dyes, and they're a family run natural dye company, and they harvest all their oak galls from their hometown in Turkey. So it's quite a nice story behind the dyes. They also have some other products which I've got here, and I haven't tried any of them yet, but I'm excited to. These are this is a brown gall nut powder. Safflower. I've never tried this before, but I think you can get oranges and even pinks from this. Buckthorn and some madder powder. So I'll probably do a couple of videos on some more of their products as I go along, but for today we're going to be focusing on the green oak gall nut powder. So if you're interested in trying out some of the Mazi's natural dyes or gall nut powders, there'll be a link at the bottom of this video in the description. So these are some of the fabrics that I'm going to mordant with the gall nut powder. I want to have a variety of fabrics and a variety of mordanting processes, so I can show you all the results with the tannins, without tannins, on different fibre as well. So I've got some wool. This will be a beanie at some point. I'll probably mordant it first and then I'll sew it up afterwards. Or maybe I'll sew it up and then mordant it. Some linen. I've got two pieces of linen. One I'm going to do just in the tannin or the oak gall powder, and then I'm going to do the other one in the oak gall powder and then an alum bath afterwards to see what difference that makes to the colours. I've got a piece of silk. I'm going to just use the tannin. I'll probably do a piece of silk, dye a piece of silk with just no mordant as well to see how that turns out. I've got some bamboo fibre here. I think I've got one that's, I'm going to get confused now. Yeah, that one's already been mordanted with soya. This one's got nothing. So I'm just going to use the gall nut powder on that one. This one has been mordanted already with alum acetate and a chalk bath. And then this one is just going to be tannin or the oak gall powder, and then I'm going to give it an alum bath afterwards. So I'll also be taking you through how how to mordant with alum in this video, because often people use tannins and alum together to get deeper colours. Apparently, I've never done it, so we'll see. So the first thing I'm going to do before I do anything is weigh my fibre, so I can work out how much tannin or oak gall powder I need to use. So this is 328, so I'll put 330. So I'm going to use 8% of the weight of fabric of gall nut powder. So 8 times 220, 329 divided by 100. So that's 26 grams. And I'm also going to just weigh the fibre that I'm going to be mordanting with alum. I've decided I'm not going to actually put this beanie in the tannin bath. I'm just going to mordant that with alum. So I'm just going to weigh these two. So that won't be having a tannin bath, but this will. But they'll both be going in the alum. So that is 243 grams, and I think, what did I say, 12 to 20% weight of the fabric. So I'll do 15. That's 36-ish grams. So I need 26 grams for all of that fibre. I'm going to use my lovely spoons carved by my boyfriend. That'll do. It's a little bit over, but it's okay. So that's all my gall nut powder that I'm going to use for all that fibre. So next I'm going to weigh out my alum. And I need 36 grams. I'm not even sure if I'm going to have enough, so it might have to be a little bit less. I'm actually wearing a mask while I'm doing this. Oops. Oh, cool. Have got enough. I like to wear a mask if I'm working with like fine powder or, you know, especially metal salts. It's important for safety. You don't want to be breathing in all these particles. There we go, 36 grams, just a tiny bit over, but that'll be fine. Cool. Okay, so as per usual with most processes and when I'm naturally dyeing, I like to soak my fibre before I put it into any kind of mordant bath or dye bath. This just helps the mordant or the colour get taken up evenly by the fibre. So I'm just going to leave this for a minimum of a couple of hours, you can also leave it overnight to soak. Just give it a squeeze. Okay, now I'm going to prepare my oak gall mordant solution. I'm going to fill up this pan so there's plenty of room for the fibres to move around. And I'm going to heat up the liquid and then add the powder to the liquid. Okay, so that's my mordant bath heating up. What I'm actually going to do now is boil some water and mix my gall nut powder into the really hot water, just to kind of like make it into a paste before I put it into my Mordant bath, just so that I'll hopefully avoid some lumps and kind of like globular bits of powder. So here I'm going to just make a paste with the powder and some hot water. I can never remember whether you're supposed to add powder to water or water to powder, so I'm just going to do it really gently. Just make sure that the powder doesn't kind of plume up in a big dust cloud, so I'm not breathing it in. And just add a tiny bit of hot water, and then I'm going to make a paste. Just keep adding a tiny bit of hot water. So I think from what I can gather, tannins are kind of a little bit like soy milk in the way that they kind of help the cellulose fibres act a bit more like protein fibres, so that they can take and attach to the colour more readily. So it's making a nice paste now. I'm not losing any of the powder. Ugh. Looks almost good enough to eat. So now I can add the water a bit more freely without worrying about things splashing up. Okay. So when my water's hot simmering on the stove, I'll add this, and then I will submerge my fibres into the liquid. So my water's heated up, it's nearly simmering. I'm actually just gonna pop my thing in like that and let it heat up a bit more. It is getting quite hot now. You can see all the tiny bits of the ground up oak galls floating around. So now it's time to put the fibre into the water. I'm going to squeeze it all out. I'm just going to put one bit at a time into the pot. I'm quite intrigued to see if this will kind of impart a colour onto the fibres, or if it will stay quite clear. It's supposed to stay quite clear, I think. But I know that there's some tannins that have quite a dark colour. This is a big piece of bamboo. Stir as much as possible at the beginning when you're putting fibres into a bath, just to get them, like the colour or the mordant, just everywhere it needs to be. Put all my fibre into the pot. I'm going to stir it for about 5 minutes, just continuously, just to make sure that the tannin gets everywhere. And then I'm going to just treat it like I would any dye bath really, and simmer it for maybe an hour or so until I feel like the tannin's done its job or is doing its job. Tannins are also used quite often to get dark colours. So if you want to maybe try getting a grey colour or a close to black colour on silk or something, you could use something rich in tannin and then give it a dip in some iron water, and the colour usually changes quite drastically to a dark colour. My fibres have been simmering for probably just over an hour now. I think this is the kind of thing that if you wanted to leave them in overnight, that would probably help with the shape, the deepness, like of the shade of colour that you will achieve. But I'm going to take them out now and strain them. It's like with anything in natural dye, you can always take longer. I was wondering what kind of impact what kind of colour the powder would have on the white fibres, and it's kind of as expected. This is the silk, and it's a kind of beigey, nice beigey colour actually. The cellulose fibres still quite white, but a little tint. Okay. I'm going to, I'm going to tip this away now, but if I actually had another project or some fibre that I wanted to mordant, I'd probably use this bath as an exhaust bath, which means just using it again to get as much out of it as possible. But right now, I haven't got anything I want to do, so I'm going to pour this away. I'm not sure if you can see this, but there are some little bits left on the fibres. So I'm going to give them a rinse before I put them in the alum bath, just to get those bits off. So these samples I'm just going to rinse out and hang dry, air dry, and I'm going to let them cure for a few days, maybe a week or two, and then dye with them. And these ones over here, the linen and the bamboo, I'm going to mordant with alum right now. And like I said before, the tannin can kind of help cellulose fibres become a bit more like protein fibres in the fact that it helps them adhere to the dyes more easily. And the same thing is true with the mordant. So the reason that you would now mordant your fibre with alum is that the tannin is going to help the alum bond to the fabric supposedly better than if you hadn't used the tannin in the first place. Okay, so I've got my 2 pieces of fabric that I've mordanted with tannin, or the oak gall extract. I've got this, which is wool, which I didn't mordant with tannin. I'm just going to mordant it with alum. I've got a pan of hot water, tap, just the hot tap is fine. The good thing about alum is you don't need to have a heat source to get the mordant to work. And now I'm going to...
Can I help?
What are you wearing? You can help me, but I'll call you when I need help, okay?
Please, help now.
Because right now, I'll call you when you can put the fabric in the pot, because right now I'm using this powder and I don't want you to breathe any of this powder in, okay?
Okay.
So I'm going to wear a mask for this because I'm working with the alum salts. I'm going to do what I did before and make a little kind of paste with, oh, if I can, yeah. Probably not the best vessel for putting. Okay, so I've got some boiling water from the kettle. I'm just going to pour a tiny bit in with my alum that I weighed up earlier. I'm also, for my wool, going to add a tiny bit of cream of tartar because apparently that helps keep the fibre soft when mordanting. So I'm going to add a tiny bit of that, probably a teaspoon, just a little spoon. There we go. It can also brighten some colours, I think, so that's quite cool as well. There we go. That's dissolving nicely now. So that looks about dissolved. So I'm going to put this into, like I said before, this is just tap water hot. So, right, Billy.
Yes?
Do you want to put some of this fabric in?
What do you already do?
It's already wet. That's got tannin on it.
Did you already put some actual drying things on it?
Yeah, it's got tannin on it. You know, like...
Not on that?
Yeah, on that one too.
But I can't see anything.
Yeah, it's a bit browner than it was before, isn't it? It's not white like that. It's just a little bit brown. And then we put it in there. And then after we put it in there, we dye it. And then we hope that we get some awesome colours. Oh, in it goes.
And look, I have a dress on.
Yeah, it's soaking wet. Can you put it in the pot for me, please? That's it.
Let me roll it to put it in because I want...
We don't need to roll this one because we're not bundle dyeing it. We just need to put it straight in the pot. Oops. And then I'm going to squeeze out this hat and you can put the hat in. Or shall I put the hat in? So now we've put our fibres into the alum mordant bath. I'm just going to stir them for, I don't know, 5 minutes. And then I'll leave this overnight. And then I'll let it cure for a few more days and then I'll dye with it. And I think we're gonna do another video for the dye results. So as usual, thanks for watching. I hope you found this video helpful. This was my first experiment with oak gall powder, so please do let me know if you have any more tips or observations in the comment section below. And if you'd like to try some oak gall powder for yourself, check out the link in the description for the Marzi natural dyes. We'll be back with another video to show the dye results. Don't forget to like, subscribe and comment, and check out our website BillyNou.com. Bye!